Exodus chapter 34. And the Lord said to Moses, Hew 2 tablets. Exodus chapter 34. And the Lord said to Moses, Hew 2 tables of stone, like to the first, and I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables, which you broke. And be ready in the morning, and come up in the morning to Mount Sinai, and present yourself there to me in the top of the mount. And no man shall come up with you, neither any man be seen throughout all the mount, neither let the flocks nor herds feed before the mount. And he hewed 2 tables of stone, like to the first. And Moses rose up early in the morning, and went up to the Mount Sinai, as the Lord had commanded him, and took his hand the 2 tables of stone. And the Lord descended in the cloud, and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of the Lord. And the Lord passed by before him, and proclaimed, the Lord God, merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, and upon the children's children, to the 3rd and to the 4th generation. And Moses made haste, and bowed his head toward the earth, and worshipped. And he said, If now I have found grace in your sight, O Lord, let my Lord, I pray you, go among us, for it is a stiff-necked people, and pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for your inheritance. And he said, Behold, I will make a covenant for all your people. I will do marvels such as not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation, and all the people among which you are shall see the work of the Lord, for it is a terrible thing that I will do with you. Observe you that which I command you this day. Behold, I drive out before you the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Take heed to yourself, lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land where you go, lest it be a snare in the midst of you. But you shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves. And you shall worship no other God, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a-whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice to their gods, and one call you, and you eat of his sacrifice. And you take of their daughters to your sons, and their daughters go a-whoring after their gods. Make your sons go a-whoring after their gods. You shall make yourself no molten gods. The feast of unleavened bread shall you keep. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread, as I commanded you, in the time of the month of Abib. And in the month Abib you came out of Egypt. All that open the matrix is mine, and every firstling among your cattle, whether ox or sheep that is male. But the firstling of an ass you shall redeem with a lamb, and if you redeem him not, then you shall break his neck. All the firstborn of your sons shall redeem, and none shall appear before me empty. 6 days you shall work, but on the 7th day you shall rest. In airing time and in harvest you shall rest. And you shall observe the feast of weeks, of the firstfruits of the wheat harvest, and the feast of the ingathering at the year's end. Thrice in the year shall all your children appear before the Lord God, the God of Israel. For I will cast out the nations before you, and enlarge your borders, neither shall any man desire your land. when you shall go up to appear before the Lord your God thrice in the year. You shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leaven, neither shall be the sacrifice of the feast of the Passover be left to the morning. The first of the firstfruits of your land you shall bring into the house of the Lord your God. You shall not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. And the Lord said to Moses, Write these words, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. And he said, and he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water, and he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 Commandments. And it came to pass when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tables of testimony in Moses' hands, when he came down from the mount, that Moses knew not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with him. And when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come nigh him. And Moses called to them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned to him, and Moses talked with them. And afterward all the children of Israel came nigh. And he gave them in commandment all that the Lord had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. Until Moses had done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. And when Moses went in before the Lord to speak with him, he took the veil off until he came out. And he came out and spoke to the children of Israel that which he was commanded. And the children of Israel saw the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face shone. And Moses put the veil upon his face again, until he went in to speak with him.